All right, I'm going to try to fix the Jets defense. It's not going to be easy, but we'll give it a shot. Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary, back with another video. And yes, I am back trying to fix the New York Jets defense through both free agency, the draft, and everything in between. We'll get into a whole mess of things in this episode. Before we get started today, I just wanted to mention you can follow on social media at Matt O'Leary NY if you haven't already. You could also check out the Just Jets podcast, which airs every Wednesday during the season. Reaction of the week, whether it's stuff from the game. At this point, we're not really in game mode. It's more so off-season based because go figure, it's December and it's the Jets. They haven't been in it since 2015 in December. So this is what we resort to. And well, finally, a word from LinkedIn. We've been talking a lot about them and for good reason recently. These days, it can be very difficult to find and hire the right candidates that small businesses are looking for. That's why LinkedIn Jobs made it so much easier to find the people that you want to talk to faster. And best part, it's for free. You can create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. That's a lot. That's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. So what you're going to want to do is head to linkedin.com/MO. That is linkedin.com/MO to post your job for free. And 40 million job seekers are looking at LinkedIn every week. So the odds are pretty good there. Speaking of good odds, let's get into the New York Jets and maybe turning this thing around when it comes to their defense. There's a lot of takes we did earlier in the week. My Kyle Hamilton take. People like it. People don't like it. That's going to be another conversation for a very long time here. What do the Jets do to fix this defense? Do they fire Robert Saleh? No. Do they fire Ulbrich? I'm going to say also more than likely no. I understand it's been bad, but do we have to go down the laundry list of people who were injured this year? And I know that's a cop-out, but Carl Lawson, the #1 free agent, played 0 games. Jarrad Davis missed time. He stinks since he's been back, but he's missed time. Marcus May missed a significant chunk of the season. LaMarcus Joyner did not play. Vinny Curry lost for the season. There's a lot that really went into this. So I'm going to do my best to try to fix this defense. And it's not going to be like in full being like, okay, I'm going to do a full off season of like, this is who I'm signing on offense and defense. This is who I'm drafting at every single pick and doing like a complete roster. It's more so like, hey, these are some guys I think you could target in free agency and guys you could target in the draft. And then this is what your starting defense could look like and not doing too much depth beyond that. So roughly at this moment, the Jets will have about $50 million in cap space. That can change with cuts. We're not getting into cuts at this point to create more. Again, we're more kind of just focusing on some target free agents in some of the drafts. So the first guy that I am targeting, we'll do free agency first, is the Jets need help at the safety position, right? Marcus May is going to be gone. LaMarcus Joyner you brought in free agency, but did not play a single snap this year, and he was on a 1-year deal. So I would like to go out and pay arguably a better safety, probably similar money to what Marcus May is going to get. And on top of that, this guy is 2 years younger than Marcus May, and that's Marcus Williams from the New Orleans Saints. I mean, let's face it, the Saints are always in cap hell. Are they going to be able to retain every single piece? Probably not. I would think he more than likely hits the open market, and I'm looking at, I don't know, what do you think it's going to take to pay him? $14 million a year? Go 4 years, $52 million. That's $13 million a year. He is phenomenal in coverage. He is an excellent coverage safety, which is what the Jets need. He's a very good tackler. He only let up 1 receiving touchdown this year. In his entire career, he only has 8 penalties, so it's not someone who's going to get like those dumb holding calls or pass interference or anything like that. And like I said, the best part is he's a couple years younger than Marcus May. I wish Marcus the best. He was a great Jet. I just don't think he is going to be signed at this point with their relationship over the past year, his age, and the agent, just everything involved. So with that, on the defense, we're going to move to linebacker and take a look at Anthony Walker Jr. He is a tackling machine for the Cleveland Browns. And I think you can maybe give him like, I don't know, $6-7 million a year. Let's call it 3 years, $18 million, something like that. Over 90 tackles 3 years in a row with Indianapolis, 85 in 9 games with Cleveland so far this year. He's been pretty good in coverage. That's something the Jets desperately need help with at the linebacker position, and it's something that you're going to have to address in both free agency and the draft. More on that in the draft later. But what I think about his coverage skills, he hasn't I can't even speak right now. He hasn't allowed a receiving touchdown. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. All year, and only 2 penalties in his entire career, which is impressive. And I think he's been pretty good. And I know his last year in Indy wasn't great, but before that, he was a very solid player, was solid this year for Cleveland on a 1-year deal. I think he gets paid, and I don't think it's going to break the bank. I think you could get him for, similar to money for what you got Gerard Davis for. It was a 1-year, $7 million deal. So maybe for a little bit more term, the AAV comes down a little bit. Just something to look at. And then lastly, we'll look at corner, and I'm looking at Dante Jackson. Now, here's the thing with him, and he's from Carolina. He's very steady, but unfortunately, he had a groin injury end his season after 12 games. So you could probably get him on a 1-year deal. Obviously, they draft a corner last year. They trade for a corner. So are they going to be looking to retain Jackson? I would say more than likely not. But like a 1-year, $7 million deal, he would look really nice on the other side of Bryce Hall, give a veteran presence to the room. He's only allowed 3 touchdowns this year, 62.7 completion percentage allowed, which is just steady. Is he a phenomenal corner? No, but he's a quality starter, which is really what you need in this defense. They are looking to be fine, okay, passable in the secondary and be dominant up front. So I am really focusing my energy on linebacker and the front. You'll see, especially when we talk about the draft here and what this ends up turning out to be. And again, I'm really only doing like the first couple of rounds because you're looking for starters. You're not looking for no one cares about the 5th round corner that I think the Jets should draft and be like their 4th cornerback on the roster. I don't think that's going to be the case, but we'll talk about some key guys, what their roles can be. Someone that I'm a fan of and I think they should look at in the first round is George Karlaftis, the edge out of Purdue. The Greek freak is what I'm calling him, and he's Greek, so that's why, obvious here. I love Aiden Hutchinson and Kayvon Thibodeau, but I don't think either of those 2 guys are going to be there when the Jets are picking. As a result, I think Karlaftis is the next best guy, and no, I don't think it's a reach for him wherever the Jets end up picking. I don't know, between 4 and 6, let's say, more than likely. He's a really good player, and I think would complement Carl Lawson well on the other side. I would also look in the 2nd round to continue on the defensive side of the ball. Maybe, the other first round pick, you go either offensive line, wide receiver, something like that. Just something else. But in the 2nd round, someone I've talked about a lot in mock drafts is Brandon Smith, the linebacker out of Penn State. I think he's extremely quick, which I like. I think he's a versatile player. And, Penn State linebackers just tend to work in the NFL. They do. It's a stereotype. It's a good stereotype to have. But I think he would be a really nice find for the Jets in the 2nd round. And, I mean, let's face it, they really need that linebacker depth. So I'm looking to add one in the 2nd round. And then Jordan Battle, like someone like that in round 2 with the second round pick, or maybe early round 3, you can grab him. He's a safety. And again, I think you spend a little bit in free agency. You don't break the bank and pay someone $17+ million a year, but in that $12 to $14 million range, and you pair a day 2, probably early day 2 rookie with him that you trust, which is kind of what this is working out to be. And I think that you could be more than fine with that as your duo. So essentially with those signings and that plan, I guess, in the NFL draft, your starting defensive line could look something like Carl Lawson, one edge. In the middle, Quincy. More on Quincy in a second. Quinnen Williams and John Franklin Myers in the middle. And on the other edge, you have Karlaftis and Huff. I like Bryce Huff. I think he is a good rotational player, but I don't think he is like, hey, this is my guy that's going to play every single down. That's not him. So pairing him with the rookie seems to make sense, where Lawson's more of going to be on the field a lot more. Like Quinnen Williams is someone who's going to be on the field a ton, and for good reason. At linebacker, then you have Mosley, Walker, and Smith. You could also have guys like Quincy Williams rotating in. I think Quincy's come on. Earlier in the year, he struggled very much so in coverage. He is absolutely a tackling machine. He is fast coming down at the line of scrimmage, making plays happen, forced some fumbles. At times, I think he's looked lost on the field. He's a very reactionary player, which is fun. He's a fun player to like and to root for. But I don't think he's someone that, on a quality team, he's a starter. Rotating around, fine. I'm good with that. For depth, awesome. Keep him around for that. But I think I would be looking to improve over someone like that. And at corner, that would leave your 4 corners with Bryce Hall, Jackson, who you signed, MC2 in the slot, and then like Eccles as corner 4. I think that's more than fine. And Williams in battle at your safety. At that point, to me, that looks like a much more formidable defense because they have an edge presence, which is what exactly you are looking for. The goal of this defense is to get after the passer and make the quarterback's life miserable. It's not like the Jets of old, which they had 2 elite level shutdown corners in Cromartie and Revis, and they had, a good linebacker crew and stuff like that, and they got home with the blitz. It wasn't like they had this dominant pass rush of just big name guys. That wasn't really the case at all. Like Sean Ellis, steady player, right? But is he some sort of absolute stud on the defensive line? Sione Puha. They had Jason Taylor at the end of his career in 2010. Calvin Pace off the other side. Brian Thomas, guys like that. It was a very different kind of a defense where, and it worked, obviously. It was a really good one. But with everything that Joe Douglas has done since he's come here, everything that Robert Saleh has done since he's been here and in his past, and if you just listen to what Ulbrich was saying before the season, it's pretty obvious what their goal is on the defense and what their plan is. So I think this would be the best way to attack it. I think a plan like this is where I'm at. Let me know in the comments below how you would go about changing this defense and making it better, because that's obviously a must. So let me know. Thank you so much for tuning in. Subscribe here if you're new, and I'll catch you next time.